Hi again, Lydia. I think this is the fifth question. You asked about my audience, and I'm going to put three of your questions together. At the start, and still, I mean, the first year, I intended that for eighth graders or seventh graders. They could probably deal with it too. That's what I had taught for 25 years, and for a long time. The second year for ninth graders. So I was assuming that by these videos, and they go up to 180. Each year they go up to 180 because I measured it by school year. I imagined that they already had been taught this material. And then the third year, 10th graders, fourth year, 11th graders, fifth years, 12th graders. And I was more and more, focusing on things that would not necessarily be acceptable to everybody or standard. I mean, these were classics. I use the word classics. People have always or continue to value these things out of the past, the classics. But then the videos that start with 7, that's a little different. At that point, I went to a Portuguese audience. These videos are in Portuguese, and I was very uneasy to do this because it's been so long since I've spoken Portuguese. But I want to go on with that. The reason I did that was because that movie Resurrection, I despaired over getting anyone's attention who spoke English. So I thought, well, maybe the Portuguese community, and there I call it ressurreição. That's the way you say it in Portuguese. And I will certainly go on with that. I am doing everything I can to find a way to make that wordless movie. See, the movie would be wordless, so it wouldn't matter if it was done in Portugal or whatever. Homeschoolers, you asked about them. I thought it was more likely. Because, as I had said earlier, the schools have been, the independence of teachers has been kind of bled away. In Pennsylvania, back in the early 1970s and before that, school districts were so independent and teachers were so allowed to do their own thing. It was really quite amazing, and that was being bled away. But I thought, well, maybe homeschoolers. But I actually find that homeschoolers, they so often need something standardized. And one of the things I want to say about the standardization, and one of the troubles with standards is that they are meant to standardize. This is not a standard course. You can edit this, but standards, maybe they're supposed to bring things up. Well, standards also bring things down. In evolutionary terms, when everything's the same, that's evolutionarily suicidal, Darwin would teach. Sorry, edit that out. Go ahead and edit that out, but you're free to do that. But then finally I wanted to say, I said earlier that my audience needed to be driven by intellectual curiosity. That since they weren't paying anything for it, why would they do this? Well, they want to learn. But at a certain point, I think it was mid-time in this year, there I begin to reveal my thinking, my politics, if you will, that I am a decentralist, I am a degrowther. Now, I stayed away from that because it would have been quite, well, in a public school, it would still be quite improper to do that. But I finally couldn't hold myself back anymore. And I thought, if my audience is going to understand why I'm teaching this stuff, then I need to come forward and explain, present that to them, that my thinking is that of a decentralist, and then I later learned the word degrowther. Well, I edited a bunch of this out, but there we have three questions taken together. Bye for now.